Before he became president, Jimmy Carter made an official UFO report saying that he had personally witnessed a UFO the size of the moon. During the Carter presidency, the CIA and FBI came under pressure from UFO investigators and the Carter administration to reveal what they knew about the UFO phenomenon. At first, the CIA denied ever having kept documents about UFOs. But during the Carter administration, Freedom of Information Act requests from UFO research groups forced the CIA to publish an embarrassing list of documents. Thousands of pages of investigations into the UFO phenomenon were finally made available to the public. At the same time, the FBI were forced to admit that not only had they kept UFO reports on file, but they had actively tapped the phones and secretly searched the homes of people who claimed they had been abducted by aliens. Of all the government agencies who have been deliberately silent regarding the possibility of aliens visiting planet Earth, it is the National Aeronautical and Space Administration, NASA, which has steadfastly refused to admit that they are actively involved in UFO research. However, we now know that NASA are actively involved in UFO research. More than 20 space shuttle missions have returned from space with video footage of unidentified flying objects. On every occasion, NASA have claimed that UFOs filmed by NASA astronauts are nothing more than ice particles and debris floating in space. However, since the 1950s, more than 15 NASA astronauts have reported UFOs to mission control.
Unidentified flying object.
On March the 14th, 1989, amateur radio enthusiasts recorded a transmission on a secret NASA frequency from Space Shuttle pilot John Blah.
Houston, this is Discovery. We still have the alien spacecraft under observance.
NASA have been caught red-handed on many occasions. NASA have refused to admit they are actively monitoring the presence of aliens. Now, for the first time on film, we reveal documents from NASA archives which plainly show that NASA is most certainly involved in UFO and alien research. We prove, using actual NASA documents, that not only do NASA scientists believe that aliens are visiting planet Earth, but that NASA have funded studies to research UFOs on the Moon. For all the success and spin put on the Apollo moon missions in the late 1960s, NASA has never fully answered the question, why have they never returned to the moon? Some ex-NASA employees know the answer, and that is that the moon is crawling with aliens. And that NASA astronauts confirmed this in the 1970s, leading many UFO researchers to conclude that NASA had been warned off ever returning to the lunar surface. UFO activity on the moon was nothing new to the ex-Nazis who engineered the Apollo moon missions. For centuries, astronomers all over the world, including Nazi Germany, had been reporting UFOs flying over the lunar surface. The Lunar Anomalies Report was commissioned by NASA in the years preceding the famous Apollo missions in the late 1960s. For more than 3 years, NASA financed several research scientists to collate a catalogue of anomalous lights which had been reported on the lunar surface by leading astronomers and scientists since the Elizabethan era. In 1968, the public version of the NASA research was published under the title Document R277. This public version of NASA's survey of lunar UFOs included nearly 600 strange events which took place between the years 1540 and 1967. This official NASA catalogue of strange lunar UFOs included reports from some of the world's most famous astronomers. For example, NASA included a report from the brilliant French astronomer Gian Cassini, who reported seeing a white cloud hovering over the lunar surface in 1671. Another report suggested that the moon had an atmosphere when 2 astronomers reported lightning above the lunar surface on May the 18th, 1787. Just 1 month before, in the same year, 1787, the man who discovered Uranus, one of the pioneers of modern astronomy, Sir Frederick William Herschel, claimed to have observed several bright lights traversing across the lunar surface. Small luminous orbs of light, commonly referred to as luminosities, have been reported on more than 200 occasions. In February 1877, a streak of white light was observed for more than 1 hour. On April the 23rd, 1915, a beam of light was seen inside the Clavius crater. One of the UFO hotspots on the lunar surface is the Plato crater, where literally dozens of luminous orbs of light have been reported by astronomers. In addition to luminous UFOs on the lunar surface, NASA recorded the existence of mysterious shadows. In 1882, near the Aristotle area of the lunar surface, several dark shadows were seen. On September the 13th, 1959, astronomers were unable to photograph the lithosphere area of the lunar surface due to a large dark mass obscuring the terrain. And on September the 11th, 1967, Canadian astronomers reported a black cloud with violet edges floating across the Sea of Tranquility, the exact area chosen by NASA for the first Apollo moon landing in 1969. Previous to the publication of the anomalous lunar report, in 1965, NASA launched Operation Moonblink, a project involving top observatories all over planet Earth. NASA's goal was to collect data on the large number of luminosities seen flying over the lunar surface.